At Jones Tech. So today we're pulling apart rear ends. We're talking about all the gear sets and how you need to set them. And so main parts of this is setting backlash, pinion depth, and side play, how much your ring gear will go back side to side. So you set that with the shims on the side, and the reason why these specs are so important is because with backlash, there's play in between the ring gear and the pinion, and if you have too much, you'll definitely chip and damage teeth, and with too little and too tight of a fitment, you'll definitely be chipping teeth and binding up in the gears. So the importance of that is very clear. Alright, so we've got the end caps pulled for demonstration purposes. We've got the C-clips pulled for the axle shafts, so you can pull the spline shafts out, no problem. Just pull them apart so they disconnect from the diff. People call this a chunk, but its actual term is the differential. So we're gonna spin it just a little bit so that we can get this bolt facing up, so we can pull this pin that holds all the spider gears inside. You can pull that loose, and that allows you to, actually we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. You would only have to do that if you didn't already pull your C-clip for your axle shafts. So we don't have to do that right now, so I'm gonna pull it. You gotta pull it carefully. Try not to mess up your bearing races and lose your shimming, because if you mess up your shims, you're gonna have to just start all over again and re-shim it all. You set this over here, out of the way safely. Now you can see the spider gears inside and how they work. And if you were to pull this pin out, the side spider gears can roam around and get thrown out, and you need to keep them in order because the wear of each gear has matched with another gear. And if you move those, the wear pattern will be thrown out and you're bound to break something and cause premature failure. So we're gonna come over here, we're gonna look at our different sides. So this side, it has the first backing shim, which has a lip on it for the other shims, and then these, if you can see, are two very small, very thin, almost paper thin shims, less than 1/1000th of an inch. And then you get some that are thicker, much thicker than others, and so you have to measure and be precise and shim it up so you get the perfect backlash. As you see on this side, on our left side, you see that there's only 2 skinny shims on here compared to the 4 or 5 over here. So that allows you to line up your ring gear with your pinion gear to get the perfect connection and perfect meshing. Alright, so I'm going to set these over here. Alright, the next thing you're going to set is your pinion depth. The depth of the pinion, of how far it sticks out into the diff, makes a good difference whenever you're trying to measure your backlash and all. So whenever you pull that, you're gonna be loosening this bolt right here, and this, hopefully you do it this side facing down, or else you're gonna lose your pinion and you're gonna chip a pinion tooth. So you loosen, take this bolt off, you're gonna have to take an impact, and whenever you go put it back on, after you've already pressed the bearing and shimmed it up, you're gonna have to tighten it down with the impact, and you need 10 inch-pounds of force to spin this. If you have any more or any less, it could cause premature failure and plenty of wear. Alright, so that's how you measure gear sets. That's the importance. Thank you. Have a great one.